Tonight.
In the end, it was thousands and thousands of people. The investments over the years reached $900 million.
The building never went up, but the scheme came crashing down. What comes next for a pair of would-be developers and the people they defrauded? Also tonight, stuck in limbo.
And problem is that all programs built for immigrants, but they're not immigrants.
Why many who fled the war in Ukraine are now facing an uncertain future here in Canada, and how one man is trying to help them through the process. Plus,
very minimal regard to, foot traffic. That's just the honest take. And riding a bike, you can forget about that.
What pedestrians and businesses say should be done to make getting around Osborne Village a little safer.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. They promised Winnipeggers they could own the sky, but that downtown condo development never got off the ground. Now the two developers behind it are going to jail for fraud. CTV's Joseph Bernacki is standing by live with the latest. Joseph, what was the sentence handed down this week?
Marilee, earlier this week, the two men behind Fortress Real Developments, the company in charge, were sentenced to 5 years in prison and ordered to pay $12.2 million each. Jawad Rathor and Vince Petroza were found guilty of defrauding millions of dollars from SkyCity investors and millions more from another Ontario development in May last year. The tower site itself in downtown Winnipeg is still a surface parking lot. This parking lot was once the site of big dreams for some investors. That ended this week in criminal sentences and hefty fines for the men behind the project. An Ontario court sentenced Jawad Rathor and Vince Petroza, the duo behind Fortress Real Developments, after they were found guilty of defrauding almost 800 people who invested in the SkyCity Centre Winnipeg project and another project in Barrie, Ontario.
I mean, these people were lied to and completely misled. And that can happen to anybody.
Ron Butler, a Toronto mortgage broker, has followed the case for years.
They had a track record, but that's the way con men work. They make sure that they have something to point at that is okay first before they go in for the big money and take everybody down.
It was supposed to be the tallest building from Calgary to Toronto, a 45-story, 392-unit luxury condo tower. Now, the Ontario court has sentenced its developers to 5 years in prison and a $12.2 million fine each. Gerald Chan, Petroza's lawyer, said in a statement in part, "We are appealing the verdict on the basis that the trial judge made errors in his treatment of the opinions of value that were used on the Fortress projects and disclosed to investors." Rathor's lawyer, Scott Fenton, told CTV in a statement in part, Mr. Rathor has filed an appeal and has been granted bail pending appeal.
We need density and we need more residential units. And so this parking lot is a strategic location for density, for development.
Rochelle Squires, CEO of Centre Venture, remembers a time when this site at Graham Avenue and Gary Street promised homes for hundreds right downtown. Now, she's confident another condo development could come alive here.
There's enough incentives in the mix so that a proponent could bring forward a viable project on this property, and it wouldn't necessarily need to be 40 stories to make it viable.
In the meantime, Butler says it was a sophisticated scheme, the scale of which hasn't been seen before, and investors are unlikely to get any of their money back.
This is not a victimless crime. This is the worst kind of crime, really.
In his decision, Justice Daniel Moore says there were aggravating factors he considered. The fraud went on for 4.5 years. It targeted so-called mom-and-pop investors who suffered financial catastrophes, and also the fact that the fraud involved a high degree of planning.
So how much money did investors lose then between these two projects?
Marilee, the court documents say that the gross amount of the fraud for both projects was $33.1 million, but the actual loss was determined to be $24.4 million. The amount the developers are ordered to pay, Justice Moore said in his closing remarks, no sentence is going to get the investors their money back.
Yikes. All right. Thanks for this, Joseph. A school in the River East Transcona School Division was evacuated this morning due to an unspecified threat. A spokesperson for the division confirms police were called and Bernie Wolf School was evacuated shortly before classes were set to begin. Classes were later canceled for the day. Police say no physical threats were discovered at the school and there's no threat to public safety, but the investigation is ongoing. Neither police nor the division elaborated on the nature of the threat. A Winnipeg police officer who fatally shot a 16-year-old First Nations girl following a robbery and vehicle chase says nothing could have trained him for that moment. Constable Kyle Pradniak made the comments as the inquest into the death of Aisha Hudson continued in Winnipeg. He says it's not common practice for an officer to shoot at a vehicle with an unknown number of occupants, but he believed the lives of his fellow officers were in danger. Hudson was killed in 2020 after the vehicle she was driving was involved in a liquor store robbery and police chase. He testified he fired 2 shots at Hudson after he believed the vehicle was moving towards other officers. The inquest is examining whether the use of force was appropriate and whether systemic racism played a role in the death, because the suspects were identified as Indigenous. A push is on to improve pedestrian safety on Osborne Street. The local councillor wants the city to study how traffic could be slowed down between Broadway and St. Vital Bridge to prevent injuries and death. And as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, the move could also be good for business.
Walking through Osborne Village, Doug Schwartz says you have to keep a close watch.
Seems to be a very minimal regard to, foot traffic. That's just the honest take. And riding a bike, you can forget about that.
Others say drivers are going too fast and there is not enough time for people to cross safely at intersections. Brenda Lafreniere says she avoids rush hour here.
The cars coming from Osborne do not let the pedestrians go when they have the chance.
Area Councillor Sherry Rowlands is calling on the city to do a safety review of Osborne Street from Broadway to the St. Vital Bridge to come up with measures to better protect pedestrians and slow traffic down. That could include lowering the speed limit, narrowing the road, and making pedestrian signals last longer.
To be able to make sure there's less accidents and on-road deaths on Osborne.
The call comes after the death of a woman who was hit by a vehicle in November. A young boy was also recently injured crossing the street.
Commuting is to the benefit of folks, driving through an area, and it's to the detriment of the people who are in this area trying to make these businesses thrive.
And this might also help local businesses. The Osborne Village Biz says if you slow vehicles down, opportunities could pop up.
But that also would open the opportunity for people to actually sit and enjoy their coffee or something on a patio on one of the sidewalks. Right now, it's so noisy and there's so much traffic.
But there are concerns about potential traffic delays. That was one of the reasons the city gave in rejecting a pedestrian scramble crossing for Osborne and River. And Osborne is a major road that funnels traffic to and from downtown.
I think it's adequately controlled right now.
The city's Public Works Committee asked the department to come back with a report on this in 6 months. Jeff Keel, CTV News Winnipeg.
PC leader Abhi Khan says Manitobans are losing trust in our province's healthcare system, and he's calling on Premier Wab Kinew to call a public inquiry. Joining me now live with those details is CTV's John Hendricks. So, John, what prompted Khan's demand?
The circumstances around the deaths of 4 Manitobans in hospital over the past year, Marilee. Khan penned a letter to Premier Kinew Tuesday saying, quote, "There is a pattern, there is a problem, and we need to find out what's going wrong." Now, the 2 most recent incidents happened in January at St. Boniface Hospital. As CTV News first reported, the family of Stacey Ross says the 55-year-old waited more than 12 hours before being discharged with a virus. They say she was sent home but died after waiting another 11 hours in the emergency room. And then 68-year-old Judy Burns' family claims she was misdiagnosed during an ER visit and believe that error led to her death. Officials are currently reviewing both cases to determine if they meet the criteria for a critical incident review. But Khan says the NDP government needs to do more. He says, quote, "By limiting the scope of these investigations to internal incident reviews, you are failing to govern in the best interests of Manitobans." He says that's why Kinew must call a public inquiry or recall the Legislative Assembly so MLAs can vote on one. Health Minister Uzoma Azaguara says Khan should respect that there is a process in place that is already happening.
I've had the opportunity to meet with one of the families and hear their experience directly from them. These folks have very real questions and they deserve answers to those questions. And that's why there's a critical investigation underway.
Azaguara says a critical incident investigation leaves no stone unturned. It will uncover what went wrong and where the system needs to make improvements. Azaguara says the families will be kept updated on the progress of the investigation and will have their questions answered.
Did Azaguara explain why the province is against having a public inquiry?
Yeah, Mary Lee, the health minister says the results of critical incident investigations are already made public. And Azaguara says the family will be privately walked through the findings first so they can understand what happened to their loved ones.
All right, thanks for this, John. A winter wonderland made from ice and snow has officially opened in Flint Flon. Check this out. This is the Flint Flon Snow Lodge. The 56-foot-long arch is made with ice walls. And it was quite the feat to build. Snow had to be blown into a large steel arch at a high velocity. That steel form was then removed, leaving just the arch behind. And the community wants to make the most of it this winter. A number of events, dinners, concerts, even weddings are planned to be held in this venue. Very cool looking. Why not take advantage of it? All right, Colleen Brady has your forecast tonight. What are you tracking for us?
A little bit of light snow here in the southeast and into northwestern Ontario as well. If you'll notice, it was much milder today, certainly here in Winnipeg, and as mild as it was here, even warmer temperatures out in the southwest. Temperatures will in fact be rising throughout the night in a lot of places. So if you thought today was mild, just wait till I show you what's ahead tomorrow. The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfit, our exclusive home of the PermaFit solution in Winnipeg right now. The camera is blowing around in those winds. Check that out. South winds at 37 kilometers an hour with gusts up to 52. It's -7 degrees and cloudy with the wind chill. It feels like -16. The pressure is falling and the humidity right now, Marilee, is 89%.
Thanks, Colleen. Winnipeg police have seized nearly $45,000 in fentanyl following a months-long drug trafficking investigation. The Guns and Gangs unit started investigating back in September, and on Monday, police executed search warrants at a business in the 3000 block of Ness Avenue and another at a home on Elmhurst Road. They found 827 grams of fentanyl, 7 grams of cocaine, and $15,000 in cash, as well as drug packaging materials and equipment. A 31-year-old man is charged with drug trafficking offenses. He remains in custody. Thousands of Ukrainians who left their homes to escape the war now face an uncertain future here in Canada. CTV's Danton Unger reports on the barriers facing some Ukrainians hoping to call Canada their new home.
My lovely memories.
Yulia Korytnik scrolls through photos of her family in Ukraine, memories that seem like a lifetime ago.
I miss for my family. I worried about my family.
She fled her home in Kyiv in 2023 to escape the Russian invasion, coming here through the federal government's temporary Canada-Ukraine Authorization for Emergency Travel Program, or QIT for short. Now, nearly 3 years later, Korytnik says she's created a life here.
Canada, it is a new home.
But she's facing an uncertain future. Until Korytnik can get her permanent residence, she's living here on an open work permit that could be cancelled any time.
We think that's roughly 200,000 Ukrainians in such situation.
Slava Dubchenko is the president of the nonprofit United Ukrainians of Canada, helping people like Korytnik. He says it can be difficult to get permanent residence as many Ukrainians fled without any preparation, knowing little to no English or having limited education. And that's why he's calling on Ottawa to step in.
We would like if federal government make a special pathway for Ukrainians.
He says more than 25,000 Canadians have sent letters to their MPs already asking for more support. And on Monday, that call made it to the House of Commons. Winnipeg North MP Kevin Lamoureux presented a petition calling for the government to work with the provinces
to ensure that those settlers are afforded the opportunity to be able to continue on, ultimately to even to become permanent residents.
Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada says it's working to process extensions to QIT visa holders, and until then, as long as applicants stay in the country, they will maintain their legal status. When it is safe to do so, we expect many Ukrainians may wish to return home. For now, a pause on removal remains in effect for Ukraine, a recognition of the ongoing war. For Korytnik, she hopes this will be her home for years to come.
I proudly call home Canada.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A year-long rabbit rescue has wrapped up in Selkirk. The city says 46 domesticated rabbits have been saved from the streets and are now adopted or in foster care. The initiative began when Popcorns and Binky's Rescue Haven reached out to the city in 2024 after learning about a large domestic rabbit population. The city blamed negligent pet owners who, it says, released the rabbits into the wild and caused the population boom. The situation now appears to be under control, with the city of Selkirk saying it hasn't received any further calls. Some of the top curlers in the province are in Selkirk this week for the 2026 Bungy Championship. The tournament got underway this morning. 24 teams are taking part, representing several clubs here in Winnipeg, along with communities such as Dauphin, Holland, Carberry, Verdon, and many others. Reed Carruthers from Granite Curling Club enters the contest as the top seed and defending champion. Organizers say you can expect to see some world-class curling.
We got a great facility here for watching the curling. There's all the seats are great, and like I said, we have a great field of curlers arranged, so they can expect some really close and well-played matches.
Playoffs get underway Friday night with the final set for Sunday afternoon. The winner will represent Manitoba at the Canadian Men's Championship at the end of the month in St. John's, Newfoundland. Still to come tonight, some sad news for Toys R Us kids. Why you'll want to use your gift cards for the store sooner rather than later. If you have money on a Toys R Us gift card, you have about 2 weeks to use it at its remaining stores. The toy retailer will soon stop accepting gift cards after filing for creditor protection. It has at least $160 million in unpaid bills. There are just over 20 Toys R Us stores still open across Canada, but the company has warned it may reduce the number of locations it operates even further. Turning to the markets now, crude oil added $1.93. The loonie slipped to 73.16 cents U.S. Gold futures rose more than $15. The TSX gained 182 points. The Dow Jones jumped 260 points, while the Nasdaq fell 350 points. A day after former Prime Minister Stephen Harper called for the Liberals and Conservatives to come together for the benefit of Canada, current Prime Minister Mark Carney met with Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. It comes as another Conservative made a solo trip to Washington. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more on the meetings in Ottawa and Washington.
Good to see you. This is not hope. This is not hope over here. Well, look at this.
The Conservative leader with a dig at his Liberal colleagues ahead of a meeting with the Prime Minister.
We have been working to fast track anything that we believe, however modest, might make life a little more affordable, a little safer, and our economy a little stronger. So it's he that is holding up the show.
According to readouts from both leaders' offices, Carney and Poilievre agreed they need to work quickly to pass policies that will make life more affordable for Canadians. The Conservative leader also offered his help in Canada-U.S. negotiations.
In fact, we need to work together.
Conservative MP Jamil Javani, meanwhile, is heading to Washington this week on a solo mission to improve trade relations between Canada and the U.S. He's a longtime friend of U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance.
I haven't talked to him in about a year about those issues. I would like to use that relationship for the good of the country, but I also don't want to interfere in what the Prime Minister is doing.
Javani was pushing for a meeting with the Prime Minister, but he did get one with the Minister in charge of Canada-U.S. trade.
Minister LeBlanc gave a briefing to Mr. Javani, who I don't believe is the trade critic for the opposition, certainly not the Minister of International Trade nor the Prime Minister.
But some members of Cabinet are casting doubt on whether Javani can or will help.
I really hope that he spoke about the closure of GM in his writing, because Ingersoll has been closed for now 4 months, and I haven't heard him once.
While a number of Conservative MPs are confident Javani can use his contacts to make a difference, Poilievre says he told his MP the most important thing is to fight for the jobs in his community. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
The federal justice minister says the government isn't considering making changes to the way judges are appointed. Sean Fraser is responding to a letter sent by Premier Danielle Smith to the Prime Minister. It asks for reforms of the judicial appointment process. Smith wants the province to be consulted on future appointments to Alberta's Court of King's Bench, the Alberta Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court of Canada. Smith suggests a committee and Alberta's justice minister could have a say in the selection. Without input, Smith says Alberta could withhold money for new appointments. Fraser says judicial independence is crucial.
At risk of stating the obvious, it's essential that we have a judiciary who's able to make decisions without fear or favor amongst those who have the power to appoint or, in theory, remove a judge from the bench. When you start to look at how you can protect that independence, certainly ensuring that there's not political threats about the resources that are going to be made available to them to do their jobs as part of it. But another part is actually have integrity in the appointment process to begin with.
The federal government has advisory committees for judicial appointments for each province. It says provincial justice ministers can submit names of people they would like on the committees. Canada has updated its travel advisory for Cuba, urging travelers to exercise a high degree of caution. It comes as the Caribbean nation faces worsening shortages of electricity, fuel, and basic necessities. Cuba schedules long daily power cuts in an effort to reduce pressure on its electrical grid. However, Ottawa says nationwide outages can still occur unexpectedly and last for hours. The updated advisory also warns fuel shortages have made traveling across the island difficult, with public transportation disrupted frequently. About 1/4 of the immigration enforcement officers deployed to Minnesota are being withdrawn. The White House's border czar says the decision follows state and local officials agreeing to turn over arrested immigrants.
This increase in unprecedented collaboration, and as a result of the need for less law enforcement officers to do this work in a safer environment, I have announced effective immediately we will draw down 700 people effective today.
The withdrawal will see about 2,000 officers remain in the state. Tom Homan says a widespread pullout will only occur after people stop interfering with federal agents and setting up roadblocks to impede their work. There have been weeks of turmoil in Minneapolis and St. Paul, especially following the killings of 2 American citizens by federal officers. Donald Trump has now gotten involved in the search for Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today's Show anchor Savannah Guthrie, saying he will add more resources to the investigation.
I think it's a terrible thing. I always got along very good with Savannah. Very unusual situation, but we're going to find out.
CBS and TMZ are reporting they've received an unverified ransom note related to the case, demanding millions of dollars in Bitcoin. Nancy Guthrie was last seen Saturday night. Police believe she was taken from her home against her will. A man who tried to assassinate Donald Trump at a Florida golf course in 2024 has been sentenced to life in prison. Prosecutors asked for life without parole for Ryan Ruth, saying he's unrepentant and has never apologized. The defense asked for 27 years, noting Ruth is already turning 60. He also received a consecutive 7-year sentence for one of his gun convictions. A robotic dog is searching the slopes of Italy's Mount Etna, attempting to sniff out volcanic fumes. This 4-legged robot is designed to reduce the risk of sending people onto that dangerous terrain. While the robot cannot predict eruptions, it can gather data which can provide early clues. The Swiss-made dog is fitted with sensors, instruments, and a type of AI which allows it to identify gases and learn the terrain.
These are the vehicles that are easy recommendations to make and a great starting point for any car shopper.
Consumer Reports is out with its 10 top vehicles for 2026. Some of the familiar favorites are back, plus a couple of new models also made the list. We're going to tell you all about it after the break.
Overall, some very mild temperatures over the next few days. The exception is Friday. The trade-off, though, will be bright and sunny. A high of -14 degrees, then -5 on Saturday. Cloudy, and the clouds will spill over to the second half of the weekend on Sunday, up to -2. Monday, similar, -2 again, cloudy with the chance of flurries. Clouds stick around on Tuesday with a high of -5.
As we get set for the official opening of the Milano Cortina Games, a well-known member of Canada's Olympic team has been injured. Snowboarder Mark McMorris crashed today during big air training, and the three-time bronze medalist had to be taken off the course on a stretcher. There are no details yet on the extent of his injuries. A brief statement from the Canadian Olympic Committee says staff are still tending to him. The 32-year-old Regina native was getting ready for tomorrow night's qualifying event. And Canada did begin competition at the Games today with a win in mixed doubles curling. Brent Gallant and Jocelyn Peterman defeated Czechia's duo 10-5 in the round-robin opener. The husband and wife team from Alberta grabbed an early lead, scoring 4 points in the second end. Canada is looking to return to the podium after missing out on a medal in 2022. Elsewhere, Jeffrey Reid was the top Canadian in men's alpine skiing, finishing 10th. The opening ceremony kicks off this Friday at the Winter Games, and excitement is already sky high for athletes, families, and fans. But the weather so far has been less than golden. Heather Butts reports.
A constant rain soaking the city, turning popular landmarks into a sea of umbrellas. In the north, it meant snow for the mountain regions just in time for the global event, drawing Olympic fans from around the world, including the Grandillo family from Montreal.
This is the 30th birthday trip, kind of a bucket list item for us. The opening ceremonies are on my birthday, on my 30th birthday, and being Italian, it just seemed like the most fitting event.
Though they expected more Olympic flair to be flooding the streets, not rain.
To be honest, it's not really in your face. We do see it here and there at corners, but we haven't really captured that vibe yet. I'm sure it's coming though.
Their sights set on snowboarding and hockey. With the games spread out, Milan will only see part of the action.
Per il momento no.
No?
No.
Few crowds right now, he says, but they are expected. Organizers say all competition venues are fully operational. Still, construction at the hockey rink isn't complete.
Do we have every single space in that venue finished? No. And is it absolutely needed for the Games? No.
Aside from the main facilities, there are sure signs something monumental is about to happen here, drawing more than just regular tourists.
Here's something else adding to the energy. Media from around the world, such as myself, here to cover this event. Take a look at the rooftop studios using the historic Duomo as a backdrop.
We only just got here and we were like, wow, everything's Olympics. It's great. It's so much fun. I love it.
The organizing committee is pointing to the torch relay as a driver for national excitement.
This is fun to be in an environment with like thousands of people and all here for just one simple reason. It's fun.
That momentum is also reflected in demand from spectators, with roughly 1.2 million event tickets already sold and only a limited number remaining for the opening ceremony. Heather Butts, CTV News, Milan.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Colleen Brady is back now with your complete Skywatch forecast. We've been talking a lot about, surviving January and making it into February. Yeah. And it's a special month, not just because the temperature's hopefully turning milder, but also because it's I Love to Read month.
Of course it is. And I got the chance to head out to Holy Ghost School this morning. I made new friends in grade 3 and grade 4. Here I am with the grade 3s. We read books. They asked a lot of great questions. And then I got the chance to hang out with the grade 4s next. We read a book. And then we got to practice reading a script or two from last night's newscast. And Marilee, I think we have some backfill anchors ready to go. They did a great job. So thanks so much for having me out this morning. It was a lot of fun. And a lot of fun, too, if you're enjoying these milder temperatures. And it's been so mild, in fact, we got up to freezing in parts of the southwest. We've got that snow falling here east of Winnipeg and into northwestern Ontario. That will continue for a few hours yet tonight. We've had a much more organized snowfall crossing northern and central parts of the province today than we did yesterday. Still coming down in a lot of areas, although it's starting to end in parts of the northwest there. Gillam, Thompson still falling, but you can see that snow has come right down into parts of southeastern Manitoba and northwestern Ontario. As I mentioned, that's going to continue for a little bit yet. Meanwhile, it'll get a little clearer out in the southwest. Now, we have a building ridge of high pressure that is going to help send temperatures upward across most of the province tonight. So we'll have a very mild day across the south tomorrow. And I showed you that blip on Friday where it does get a little colder, but then we warm back up again by the weekend. So a mild few days for the most part ahead. Now, as the temperatures rise overnight, including in parts of the north, tomorrow they're going to be falling. In the morning, you'll get up to about your peak, and then as we go through the afternoon on Thursday, the temperatures will fall. Meanwhile, we have this next system approaching. It will bring mixed precipitation. What with temperatures being mild, we'll see flurries, snow, but you see on that southwestern flank the potential for freezing rain and outright rain showers. We could see this mix make its way to Winnipeg in the southeast late in the afternoon. Better bet we'll see a little bit of it come through tomorrow evening. You can see there. Meanwhile, the north clears right out and brightens right up. But again, it's going to be a colder day. So under those clearer conditions come the sunshine, sure, but also comes some colder temperatures. But it will be for a day before we warm up again in time for the weekend. But we will cloud over. That's the trade-off. Tonight, there is again that chance of flurries, maybe even a risk of freezing drizzle tonight with that system close to us. Temperatures will rise throughout the night here in Winnipeg and much of the southeast up to about -1 by morning. Strong south winds 30 with wind gusts up to 50 kilometers an hour. Lighter west winds tomorrow, mainly cloudy, -1 still for the commute on the way to a high of +2. Now, keeping in mind the normal high for this time of year is closer to about -10. Again, that chance of rain showers or snow showers in the afternoon. Otherwise, clouds stick around along with those lighter west winds. We get up into the north tonight. Snow continuing at least for now across the region. Temperatures rising for the most part, including in Churchill, up to -19. Thompson going up to -6 by morning. And then tomorrow, you're just going to see the temperatures fall in the afternoon. You see some precipitation in Island Lake, some light snow there dropping to -13. Some light snow tonight still for Norway House. Temperatures rising there to -1. More snow coming through Flint Flon, OCN, and the Paw, and Norway House with temperatures falling in the afternoon. Partly cloudy tonight across the southwest. Temperatures rising to around freezing for Brandon and otherwise holding steady around the rest of the region. Mix of sun and cloud for most areas. A nice day. Highs of 3 and 4 degrees, including in Dauphin and in Brandon. Winnipeg in the southeast tonight. Light snow continuing for Barons River and Pinawa, at least for a few other hours. Otherwise, it will be cloudy. Temperatures rising to -1, -2. Portage, Morden, and Winkler. Maybe a little bit of sun tomorrow, up to +5, 2 for Winnipeg. And in northwestern Ontario, snow now. Temperatures rising in Kenora and Dryden overnight. Cloudy there tomorrow with highs right around freezing, if not just a little bit above that. Our first weather photo takes us out to beautiful St. Malo. That photo is from Michelle. All those beautiful colors in the sky. That was yesterday morning sunrise. And Kirsten was admiring the beautiful moon on Monday evening just east of Beausejour. Send us your weather photos to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Colleen. With the average cost of a new vehicle now about $65,000, if you're buying one, you want to make sure it is built to last. You also want it to be safe and reliable. Consumer Reports just released its top 10 list for 2026. CTV's Pat Foran has all the details.
Every day, Consumer Reports tests new vehicles at its state-of-the-art facility, measuring everything from safety and performance to fuel efficiency and cargo space. Beyond the test track, its member surveys give exclusive real-world insights into reliability and owner satisfaction from about 380,000 vehicles this year.
The CARS team looks at data from our testing and from member surveys to determine what are the 10 vehicles that stand out most in their class. These are the vehicles that are easy recommendations to make and a great starting point for any car shopper.
SUVs are as popular as ever. This year, the Subaru's Crosstrek and Forester, along with the Toyota Grand Highlander, were all top picks. If you're looking for something more upscale, top luxury SUVs include the Lexus NX and BMW X5.
We also have a couple great sedans on the list with the Honda Civic and Toyota Camry. Both of these performed well in our tests, get terrific fuel economy, and are very reliable.
For drivers who want a truck that's easy to live with, the Ford Maverick is the top choice for best small pickup, and the Ford F-150 makes the list too, the first full-size pickup in years to score high enough to be a top pick. The Tesla Model Y is the top pick for EVs. And for the first time, all 10 of Consumer Reports' 2026 top picks are available as hybrid or EV versions. All of the top picks also come standard with key safety features, including automatic emergency braking and pedestrian detection. Any of these top picks would be a good place to start if you're looking for a new vehicle, as they're considered outstanding in their respective categories. Pat Foran, CTV News.
I will never find the words to say thank you.
Today is World Cancer Day, and an Ottawa man is sharing how a unique treatment saved his life. His story after the break. Today is World Cancer Day, and this year's theme, United by Unique, is a reminder no two cancer journeys are alike. So today, to help highlight the crucial role of personalized, patient-centered care in the fight against cancer, Kimberly Carson, CEO of Breast Cancer Canada, joins us. Kimberly, great to speak with you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an important day.
Precision oncology is an example of this tailored type of cancer care. In simple terms, can you tell us a bit about what it is and why it's proving to be so important for patients?
Yeah, absolutely. Precision oncology is more like personalized medicine. So it's treatment that's targeted right directly to your type of cancer. So for example, there's 50 different types of breast cancer, meaning that the treatment is targeted right specifically to your type of breast cancer. So that treatments for other cancers might not work, but this treatment is specifically meant for you and how you're responding to it.
What kind of initiatives are being used today to make cancer treatment more effective and compassionate?
You know, I think there's so many advances, and, you know, we look back over the last 10 years, let's say, and it's so much to celebrate on World Cancer Day today, because these treatments have come so far. You know, we know now that, you know, we don't need to give as much radiation. We may not need to give as much chemotherapy. There's so many different ways to treat cancer now that, you know, patients are living longer. We know that, you know, even if you're metastatic now, that your chances of survival are well over 20 years. So there's some great new initiatives going forward.
Tell us a bit about why listening to patients through tools like the Progress Tracker, for example, are so important in cancer care.
You know, again, I think this is how far we've come. Patients are now the center of every decision making, and Progress Tracker is an opportunity for patients to lend their voice. So Breast Cancer Canada has initiated this study across Canada and asking patients to give their input 4 times a year for at least 10 years, so that we can change policy, and then we can look at the long-term effects, and then we can change treatment. So it's so important to get that patient voice right from the beginning of the treatment all the way through to well and long after the treatment has ended, because there are sometimes long-term side effects. So Progress Tracker is amazing at tracking all of that data for breast cancer patients, and we've already been able to make changes with that data.
So many more tools today. All right, what's one thing you wish every Canadian could understand about breast cancer?
You know, the earlier we catch it, the better the outcomes. So if World Cancer Day is an opportunity to remind you to go and get screened, please do. It's so important that we catch it early.
Kimberly, I want to thank you so much for your time tonight. It was great speaking with you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Well, as you just heard, today is World Cancer Day, and an Ottawa man is sharing how a unique treatment helped save his life. It allowed him to receive chemotherapy 24/7 and successfully brought his cancer into remission. CTV's Leah LaRocque has his story.
You consider yourself to be in complete remission.
Those are the words that Ted Wagstaff was always determined to hear.
Complete remission. Pretty powerful.
Last spring, the Ottawa business investor and father of 3 started to feel unwell.
I was on a business trip, and in the middle of the night, I woke up and I thought I had food poisoning.
But the diagnosis was far more severe.
I knew it was rare, I knew it was aggressive, and it's a deadly subtype.
He had multiple tumors. One was the size of a sweet potato.
I had double-hit lymphoma.
Typical chemotherapy wasn't going to be enough. His personalized treatment involved a backpack so he could receive chemotherapy 24/7.
I would get literally a backpack with chemo in it and a pump. Every day I would go back to the hospital to get a new bag of chemo. I would sleep with it, I would shower with it, go for a walk, just that my chemo backpack went everywhere with me.
His doctor says Wagstaff's journey shows the groundbreaking cancer work being done right here in Ottawa.
That sense of cancer not being one disease and patients not all being the same. And we are slowly, but we are definitely moving into a circumstance where we're not looking at a recipe, one recipe that we apply to every patient. We're taking the patient's own biology and their specific type of cancer into consideration.
In total, I did 487 hours of chemotherapy.
Halfway through Wagstaff's treatment, he welcomed his first grandson, and 5 weeks after chemo, he completed a Tough Mudder endurance race. Now in remission, Wagstaff says his positive prognosis is largely because of this small backpack that carried the hope he needed.
I will never find the words to say thank you. I just won't, so I have immense gratitude for the Ottawa Hospital and what they did for me.
Leah LaRocque, CTV News.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manuke and Koster Denture Clinic.
A symphonic smackdown. A world first comes flying in from the top rung and lands on the WSO stage. We'll explain in Spotlight.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting American rock legends.
When you think of the type of music played at wrestling matches, classical probably doesn't come to mind, but a new event at the WSO is hoping to change that. Yeah, the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra is teaming up with Winnipeg Professional Wrestling tonight for Brawl at the Hall. It's the world's first ever full professional wrestling event accompanied by a symphony orchestra. The evening will feature a complete card set to the dramatic score of classical tunes and popular hits.
How do they come together? Professional wrestling is extremely technical. There's a lot of memorization for wrestlers that happen. There's a structure that they're following, kind of like jazz. So they're doing stuff, it looks crazy, it's wild, but they're thinking through, and there's a structure. Orchestral music has a structure. So looking at the structure of both of those things, that's how we were able to put it together. And
the music is very curated to the matches and the performers, and our hope is that it provides a soundtrack to the actual action happening in the ring. Anything can happen in professional wrestling, so the matches could be over immediately, or they could go longer after the music. So we're just sort of seeing what happens tonight for the first time ever.
The Throwdown slams into action tonight at 7:30 at the Centennial Concert Hall. Bob Marley's former band will bring positive vibrations to Winnipeg this spring. The Wailers will mark 50 years of the Rastaman Vibration album with a show at the Pyramid Cabaret on April 20th. The tour will highlight select cuts from the album like Positive Vibration, Roots, Rock, Reggae, and War, along with timeless classics. Tickets go on sale Friday. One of the biggest names in country music is heading out on a North American summer tour. Three-time Grammy winner Tim McGraw has just announced his Pawn Shop Guitar Tour. It comes a month before the release of his newest track of the same name. He'll be joined on the 33-stop tour with guests The Chicks, Lady A, 49 Winchester, and Timothy Wayne. There's only one Canadian stop so far. That is in Toronto on July 16th. General sale tickets are available Friday online at timmcgraw.com. The King of Pop, the King of Pop is the latest artist, rather, to get the biopic treatment.
Let me tell you something. In this life, you're either a winner or you're a loser. Y'all want to work in a steel mill like me for the rest of your days?
The trailer was just released for Michael, portraying the origins of Michael Jackson's rise to fame, first as the lead of the Jackson 5, then through his extraordinary solo career. Jackson is played by his nephew, Jafar Jackson. Michael hits theaters in April. The Masked Singer starts your primetime lineup tonight at 7. Next is Fear Factor House of Fear at 8. Catch Shark Tank at 9. And Shifting Gears winds things up at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
Doberman Pinscher.
Everyone says their dog is the best, but this one has the ribbon to prove it. The Canadian connection to the canine that took home Westminster's top prize. That's
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
-7 degrees in Winnipeg, but look at those winds. South winds 37 kilometers an hour with wind gusts up to 52. So -7 feels more like -16. It's cloudy out there, but -7, the current temperature is the highest of the day so far. Normal high is -10. 1925, this was the record for February 4th, 5.0 degrees here in Winnipeg. Tonight there's a chance of flurries or freezing drizzle yet this evening. Down to -7 actually will be our lowest temperature, even though it's the warmest of the day. We'll rise overnight to tomorrow, a little colder on Friday before a warm up on the weekend.
Thanks, Colleen. A pampered pooch with a Canadian connection has won the world's most coveted dog show prize.
For Best in Show at the 150th Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show is the Doberman Pinscher.
Canadian-born Penny won Best in Show last night. The 4-year-old competed against 2,500 other dogs spanning more than 200 breeds. Her co-owner is Greg Chan of Toronto. He says Penny is very demanding and smart, but is also a pleaser. And the best part is she'll do anything for food. My dog will do anything.
Yeah.
Well, no, he just wants the food. Yeah, no. He actually,
but he is a cutie.
He actually has nothing in common with Penny.
He's a beautiful dog.
All right, have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.